My father was a very wonderful man.
He always had some kind of a felt fedora, and it was always a big deal to find a different colored one to bring home to him.
He was gregarious, had a big presence, would fill up a room.
Just a brash, outlandish, confident character, and he just always had this vision of what he could become. He really wanted to be a big fish in a small pond.
I miss him every day of the week. He was the king of torts in his day on Long Island, no doubt about it.
He was, I think, classic first generation, fire in his belly.
He came out to Central Islip in '33. He was the only attorney at Central Islip.
What he would do with clients would be, for example, to take their speeding tickets or parking tickets and give them a wink and tell them that he would take care of it. And he would really pay the tickets, but they would think that he worked some kind of magic in the court system.
When my father would try a case, before the judge rendered a decision or the jury came back, he would go to the client and say, did I do a good job? And the client would thank him, hug him, and say, you did a fantastic job. And then whether you win or lose, the client was happy.
We had thousands of clients, and every one of them would come in and ask for Sidney. They wanted to talk to Sidney, and they absolutely got his attention on every single case. He would give them a dime when he first met them, and he said, if you have any issues in this case, I want you to give me a call.
He would tell clients that he would take their case to the highest court, and always made them feel terrific that they were in really secure hands. And he was the outside guy. Walter, on the other hand, was brilliant and had a photographic memory, but he was the inside guy.
This business would not have worked without Walter or Sidney. There wouldn't be any clients without Sidney, and there wouldn't be any work without Walter.
In theater terms, Sidney was more of the front of the house, and Walter was more the back of the house. Sidney would fill up the room. He was a bon vivant. He had a huge personality, and Walter, although incredibly intelligent, he was quiet. I know it's often said that they were very different, but one would start a sentence and the other would finish it.
I really never heard any rancor between them. They understood each other, and they worked together as well as anybody.
My uncle in his office had a sign up on the wall, and the sign read, success is relative, the more success, the more relatives.
Family values at Siben and Siben have always been paramount. You can see that in their now third generation of Sibens.
It is a family business. It's a Siben family business, but then we've had families of people who have worked here, where we've had 3 or 4 sisters from the same family who are on our support staff.
They are good to us, and you know, for instance, they were wonderful to me when I had my daughter. My father got very sick. I had to extend, oh God, I shouldn't be talking about this.
They just make it very easy for us to be here, and this is our second home. We enjoy coming here. It's exciting, it's busy.
As close as they are as a family, they also treat the community as part of their family, their employees as part of their family, and it's amazing how many lives they've touched in our South Shore community.
We've been in Bayshore since 1945. We're very charitable. We give to many organizations in Bayshore. I do. My father did. My Uncle Walter did.
I live in Bayshore. I was here about 6 or 7 years before I actually came into the office, but I was already familiar with the firm because, you know, the charity work that they did and the philanthropy and the community that they were involved with was the Bayshore community.
We call ourselves a general practice, which is what it was when Sidney first founded the firm. He did anything and everything possible. We do specialize in personal injury. We do other kinds of law. We have a criminal department and wills and trusts department.
We have a commercial department, a state department. I have a lot of law clerks here, and we give free advice. We never charge, and it brings a lot of people in.
There are a lot of people who don't have a voice in the system. There are a lot of people who don't understand tort law, which is personal injury law, or civil law when one party does a wrong to another.
I do provide that voice to them, and we do provide that voice to our clients here in the office, and that's what they expect of us. Is they look for the voice because they don't have it themselves. They need for someone to protect them through this process and to guide them through the process.
If a person is injured and they can't pay their bills or they lose their jobs, and they know that the injury is not their fault, that the way an accident happens is not their fault, it's very hard for them to understand how to work their way through the legal process.
I deal largely with the Hispanic community here in our office, only because they also need a voice. And they feel very comfortable in having someone speak their native language. You're there to guide them, and you're there to make them feel comfortable. You're there to make them feel safe.
Nobody could ever replace Sydney or Walter, but each one of us, we have 4 partners now, and we each have different functions in the firm. And it probably takes all 4 of us and more to cover all of the different areas that Sydney and Walter did when they first founded the firm. But I think that our goal is still the same. It's giving a voice to people.